The spiritualist movement of the 19th century was a fascinating and multifaceted phenomenon that captivated societies across Europe and North America. Rooted in the belief that communication with the spirits of the dead was not only possible, but also a gateway to understanding the mysteries of existence. This movement blended science, religion, and mysticism in unprecedented ways. Born in the era of rapid industrialization and scientific discovery, spiritualism emerged as both a reaction to and a product of its time, challenging the boundaries of conventional thought and laying the groundwork for modern esoteric traditions and secret societies. The origins of spiritualism can be traced to the mid-19th century in the United States, where the mysterious events at the Fox sisters' home in Hydesville, New York, ignited public interest. The sisters claimed to communicate with spirits through rapping noises, a phenomenon that quickly captured widespread attention. This marked the beginning of a cultural movement that sought to bridge the gap between the material and spiritual worlds. Spiritualist practices, such as séances, table tipping, and spirit photography, became popular, as did the role of mediums who claimed to act as conduits between the living and the dead. The allure of connecting with loved ones who had passed on gave the movement a deeply personal appeal, resonating across different social and economic classes. Secretive circles played a significant role in advancing spiritualist practices. In an age when open discussions about mysticism and the afterlife could invite ridicule or ostracism, many individuals who were intrigued by these ideas formed clandestine groups to explore them further. These circles often included members from diverse social strata, ranging from intellectuals and scientists to the aristocracy and working-class believers. Within these intimate gatherings, spiritualists experimented with methods to contact the spirit world, sharing experiences and developing a codified set of practices that would become central to the movement. These secretive environments allowed for a level of freedom and creativity that might not have been possible in the public sphere, fostering an atmosphere of innovation and discovery. Moreover, such circles often cultivated a sense of exclusivity and camaraderie, creating tightly knit communities bound by a shared purpose and belief system. One of the most notable aspects of spiritualism was its intersection with science and technology. Many spiritualists were deeply influenced by the scientific advancements of their time and sought to use these tools to validate their beliefs. This gave rise to experiments in spirit photography, where mediums and photographers collaborated to capture images purportedly showing the presence of spirits. Similarly, devices like spirit trumpets and planchettes were used in seances to facilitate communication. These efforts to blend empirical methods with metaphysical inquiry reflected a broader 19th century trend of reconciling science with spirituality, a theme that would later resonate strongly in the development of modern esoteric traditions. Scientists and inventors such as Sir William Crookes and Thomas Edison expressed interest in spiritualist phenomena, further blurring the lines between established science and emerging mystical practices. This melding of disciplines created a unique space where empirical inquiry met transcendent belief, advancing both fields in unexpected ways. The influence of spiritualism on esoteric and mystical groups cannot be overstated. Many of the practices and concepts pioneered by spiritualists were later adopted and adapted by secret societies and occult organizations. For instance, the Theosophical Society, founded in 1875 by Helena Blavatsky and Henry Steele Olcott, was heavily inspired by spiritualist ideas. Theosophy incorporated elements of spirit communication and mediumship into its broader framework, which also drew on Eastern philosophies and Western occult traditions. Similarly, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, another influential esoteric organization, integrated spiritualist techniques into its rituals and teachings. Both organizations emphasized the pursuit of hidden knowledge and the exploration of unseen dimensions, echoing the core tenets of spiritualism. Spiritualism also played a crucial role in shaping the modern understanding of the afterlife and the nature of the soul. The movement introduced the concept of progressive spiritual evolution, suggesting that souls continue to grow and develop after death. This idea resonated with many esoteric traditions, which viewed spiritual development as a lifelong journey extending beyond physical existence. By emphasizing the continuity of the soul and its potential for growth, spiritualism provided a framework that was both comforting and intellectually stimulating, appealing to those seeking deeper meaning in their lives. These beliefs also dovetailed with emerging ideas of reincarnation and karma, bridging gaps between Western and Eastern metaphysical traditions and enriching the global spiritual discourse. The secretive nature of many spiritualist circles also contributed to the aura of mystery and exclusivity that surrounded the movement. These gatherings often took place in private homes or remote locations, away from the prying eyes of skeptics and detractors. This secrecy not only protected participants from social censure, but also created a sense of camaraderie and shared purpose among members. Over time, these clandestine practices evolved into more formalized structures, influencing the organizational models of modern secret societies. The emphasis on ritual, symbolism, and hierarchical knowledge within these groups can be traced back, in part, to the spiritualist tradition of private and structured spiritual exploration. The use of elaborate ceremonies and coded language within these circles also mirrored the practices of established fraternal organizations, further intertwining their legacies. Furthermore, the role of women in spiritualism was particularly significant. Unlike many contemporary religious or philosophical movements, spiritualism offered women prominent roles as mediums and spiritual leaders. Figures like Emma Harding Britten and Cora L.V. Scott gained fame for their abilities to channel spirits and deliver compelling orations. This empowerment of women within spiritualist circles challenged traditional gender norms and laid the groundwork for greater female participation in esoteric and mystical groups. The prominence of women in these roles also influenced later secret societies, where female members often played crucial, though sometimes overlooked, roles. Spiritualism's relatively egalitarian approach to gender was groundbreaking for its time and served as a model for other progressive movements seeking to elevate women's voices. Spiritualism's impact extended beyond its immediate practices and beliefs, shaping broader cultural and intellectual currents. The movement's emphasis on personal experience and direct communication with the divine resonated with the growing individualism of the 19th century. This focus on personal spiritual exploration would later become a hallmark of modern mystical and esoteric traditions, which often prioritize individual paths to enlightenment over dogmatic adherence to established doctrines. By challenging traditional religious authorities and promoting a more democratic approach to spirituality, spiritualism paved the way for a more inclusive and diverse landscape of spiritual inquiry. Its principles encouraged seekers to trust their inner experiences, fostering a sense of autonomy and empowerment that continues to influence contemporary spiritual practices. The legacy of spiritualism is also evident in its influence on popular culture and the arts. The movement's fascination with the afterlife, spirits, and the unseen world inspired a wave of literature, art, and theater that explored these themes. Gothic novels, ghost stories, and supernatural dramas often drew on spiritualist concepts, blending them with traditional folklore and mythological motifs. This cultural cross-pollination enriched both spiritualism and the broader artistic landscape, creating a fertile ground for the exploration of mystical and esoteric ideas. Writers like Arthur Conan Doyle, who was himself a devout spiritualist, contributed to the genre by infusing his works with themes of mystery and the supernatural, further solidifying the movement's place in cultural history. In conclusion, The spiritualist movement of the 19th century was a profound and transformative phenomenon that left an indelible mark on modern secret societies and esoteric traditions. Through its innovative practices, emphasis on personal spiritual exploration, and willingness to challenge conventional boundaries, spiritualism not only shaped the cultural and intellectual currents of its time, but also laid the groundwork for future generations of mystics, occultists, and seekers. Its legacy continues to resonate in contemporary discussions about the nature of the afterlife, the soul, and the possibilities of human consciousness, offering a testament to the enduring power of its vision and ideals.